guys, it's Snippet Saturday. How you doing? I hope you're enjoying the slim down sale, but we're not going to sell anything. Well, we're going to try not to sell you anything today.
No, it's just tips.
We're giving you good tips. So go ahead, Kathy. You do your first one.
Okay, so no matter what marking pen you use, when it says to rinse with water, just rinse with plain water, because if you use detergent, there can be a chemical reaction and your line does not disappear.
Like that Dawn and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want any chemicals.
You never know, because people say, well, it doesn't wash out. I threw it in the wash. Well,
oh, yeah, and I use OxyClean and that kind of stuff.
Plain
Doesn't
water.
work?
If it says water, plain water. No detergent.
No bleach.
Chemical
nothing like
reaction.
that.
Nope.
There you go. I think that's great. That may be why mine doesn't work. So I'm going to talk about seam rippers. Did you know all seam rippers are not made equal? And also, did you know seam rippers don't last a lifetime? If you have your grandma's seam ripper, throw the darn thing away and get a new one. They're not that expensive. So what you want to do with the seam ripper is, number one, you want that little red ball. So this comes with your machine. This was the Baby Lock seam ripper, so they forgot the little red ball on it. But you want a red ball on there. And the seam ripper, we've found that, kind of did a little study, when you go to rip a seam, you want to make sure that the width, and it's kind of hard to see, but you want a narrow width in between this little fork here and this little fork here. And guess what? These do get dull. Throw them away if it's at least 3 years old or if you've done a lot of ripping. Time to get a new one. So what you do, and this is actually my all-time favorite Clover seam ripper. This one has gotten the best reviews because, number one, it's got a longer narrow thing here, and it's got, absolutely there is a purpose for this little red ball, and I'm going to show it to you in a minute. And it's got a real narrow pointy edge, so it's very, very sharp. So I'm going to try it with all three here and see how it rips. So the red one, now what you want to do is when you're ripping a seam, so for example, let's going to say this is the outer side of our 1/4 inch seam. I hope you all paid attention last week, and your 1/4 inch seam does not look like that, but I just sewed it real quick. But what you want to do is, this is the inside of the quilt, this is the outside of the block, not quilt. And what you want to do is you want to get the seam, this red part on the inside towards the quilt, so that if you get it, because this little thing is sharp, and that way it won't poke through your quilt on the inside. If it's going to poke, it's going to poke at the seam allowance. And you get that in, and you just rip it. And that's doing pretty good because that's a 3-inch stitch. But this is a 2-inch stitch. It's not doing too bad. It goes through. But the beauty of it is you want to rip all the way down. So now I'm going to get this one, my favorite one. Look at that. It's like butter.
It is.
It's like butter. It just rips like butter. And when you get a new seam ripper, look at that. There's nothing to it.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. So make sure you get a new seam ripper. Get a good seam ripper with a good handle. This is my favorite one. I think we got some in the store, Clover seam ripper. But make sure it's a good one and a new one.
And yeah.
We'll see you
Replace
Saturday.
them.
Snippet Saturday. Snippet. I snipped it good. We snipped it good.
Snipped it on Snippet Saturday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want more of these videos, we have plenty more coming up. We got lots of new stuff coming. So what I want you to do to be prepared is you're going to click up here if you want to watch the next video, and you're going to click down here in the bottom if you want to watch all my favorite videos, my favorite things, if you want to get some more stuff. And then what you also want to do is subscribe so that you can get all the new stuff.
And click the bell.
Click the bell, subscribe, and thanks, and we'll see you in a bit.